Hello and welcome to some useless information about Tally Hall because somebody already did it with Bluey, so yeah, I'm kind of out of a job here. Tally Hall consists of 5 members, all colour-coded. Red is Joe, yellow is Rob, blue is Zubin, green is Andrew, grey is Ross, orange is Bora, pink is Matthew Altruda, black is Casey Shea, purple is Cos Baldwin, grey is Steve Gallagher. Wait, hang on a minute, that was more than 5. Okay, let's break it down. Okay, Joe Hawley, the vocalist and the rhythm guitarist, wears a red tie and is the eccentric one, basically responsible for all the bops. Rob Cantor, the vocalist, the guitarist, and also the yellow tie, and he's responsible for the band existing, so be thankful. Zubin Seji, bass guitarist and vocalist. Andrew Horowitz, he plays the keyboard and he sometimes sings, but he's not really considered a vocalist since he doesn't sing very often. But he writes a lot of songs, shockingly. Ross Federman, the drummer, that's it. Bora Karaja, orange tie, basically has every single talent under the sun. He's often considered the best member. He just kind of comes out of nowhere and does everything for the band. I think he has telekinesis as well. Anyway, honorary 6th member. This is the Tree Town sound guy. He started Rally Hall and he has to be the pink tie. I don't know if he actually got to be the pink tie, but he's a pink tie in our hearts. Casey Shea, black tie. He just kind of fills in for the members when they're not there. I think I've only ever seen him fill in for Joe, so I guess he's just the honorary Joe, the Joe part 2. Cos Baldwin is purple tie. Purple tie is technically the fan tie, but he was the #1 biggest fan, so he's the ultimate purple tie. He has unfortunately passed away. Steve Gallagher was the drummer, grey tie before Ross Federman was, but then he got My Chemical Romance out the band, so yeah, go Ross! Random useless fact, all the band members wear glasses except for Ross. So I don't know, do with that information what you will. No one in the fandom points this out, so I'm going to be the first. All of them but Rob do not look like themselves in this picture. Look at them. They do not look like the Tally Hall members we know and love. All of them look completely different, and I don't know why, apart from Rob. He looks the same. Fun fact, the ties are picked out on a whim. They didn't think it would stick. They just kind of wanted to cosplay an industry plant, I guess. Ross's favourite colour is actually green, and he was the only one who wouldn't have picked out his tie, so I kind of feel sorry for him. Also, Ross is the shortest, Rob is 6'2", Joe and Zubin are 5'11", Andrew is 5'10", and that leaves Ross at 5'9". You can just see him trying to look taller, but mate, we all know. We can all see it. Honestly, justice for Ross. They tried to kill him at one point. He just kind of is the punching bag of Tally Hall. Did you know that Rob Cantor's behind most of the songs in The Ghost of Molly McGee? He also sings in some. For example, the one I'm playing in the background right now. They perform their own stunts, unintended scene with a skunk. So next time you're watching The Ghost of Molly McGee and it hits a song, just remember it's his fault it exists. Some examples might be Ordinary Guy, Movie Magic, Abraham Lincoln, My Best Friend's Bat Mitzvah. Hey, speaking of Bat Mitzvahs, did you know that Rob Cantor's bar mitzvah took place in the Temple of Israel in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan? God knows where they got that information from. We for some reason do not know where the others had their bar mitzvahs. Probably because 2 of them did not have bar mitzvahs, but Sadly, Zubin and Joe do not relate to Rob on that. But they do relate to Rob on working with Disney. Do you guys remember this show? Yeah, me neither. Every song in that show was written and performed by the lead singers of Tally Hall. Unless you're British like me and they were not there at all. Really, the show's a surreal experience because this 4-legged blue square just has this butter smooth voice out of nowhere. He's speaking like this.
You see, we got a problem, man.
And then he'll just start singing like this.
I forgot to feed the pet tarantula, oh my.
For some reason, blue is Joe, yellow is Zubin, and red is Rob. I don't know why they chose that. They could just swapped it around. That would have been way more simple. Also, the drummer just is nobody. I guess you could say she's just a drummer. Yeah, Tally Hall don't really like their drummers. Initially, we didn't actually have Tally Hall, it was just Toy Orchestra, which I think was Andrew project. It had quite a few people in it, but the only ones we care about are Rob, Andrew, and Zubin. Then Rob joined Joe's comedy group. Joe wanted to join the band, but Rob was like, no! So Joe proved he could be part of the band by doing whatever the hell this is supposed to be. This guy wrote Hawaii Part 2. He made the rule of everything basically immediately after this. Anyway, for some reason that was enough for Rob Cantor and he was allowed into the band. Now they just needed a name. They all chose Tally Hall because they all grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they had nostalgia for this food court that got shut down called Tally Hall, and they wanted to pay homage to it. Sorry, did I say all? No, Andrew did not want that. Andrew had grown up in New Jersey, and this meant he had no attachment to Tally Hall whatsoever. He wanted to call it Party Booby Trap. But they all told him to shut up. And eventually Ross arrived. By the way, just to set the record straight, Rob asked Joe to join the band. He didn't just randomly turn up and be like, hey, can I join the band? He just made those songs to like prove he could be in the band for some reason. I don't know. I just prefer the reality where Joe just bust down the door and handed Rob a bunch of CDs and said, let me in the band. And Rob was like, this is good. Tally Hall had an internet show, which is a fact most people know, so let's not dwell on that. However, the Tally Hall internet show had quite a few animal characters in it. These consisted of Joe Rilla, Depressed Horse, Jerk Chicken, Suicidal Penguin, and Drum Solo Shark. Joe Rilla originated from Sargasm, and he was reused in the internet show. And because of that, I always just assumed that like all the suit characters were played by Joe, but turns out they're not. Jerk Chicken is played by Zubin, Depressed Horse is Rob Cantor, Cantor. Drum Solo Shark is Ross, and Suicidal Penguin is Andrew. And before you said that fact was obvious because Ross is the only drummer, I'll have you know they can all play each other's instruments. Here's some evidence. Okay, look at that. Joe Hawley on the drums, alright. I mean, he's probably not very good because, like, you know, Ross had to come up to him and was like, hey, that's not how you do it. And then eventually he got up and went and bothered Andrew instead. So, you know, but he can do it. Here's a bit of Andrew on the bass. Here's Bora on bass and Andrew on accordion. Ross on the keyboard. Ross beatboxing. Bora on drums. Joe on accordion. Since Rob doesn't play any instrument in this song, I assume that Zubin is doing Joe's part. So they've got the ability to play rhythm guitar in common. Oh, they have something else in common though. During the film of the Good Day music video, they filmed in Rotary Park, and during that, Joe and Zubin got mugged. This situation was quite traumatising for the two because they almost died. Years later, on Joe Hawley's solo album Joe Hawley, there was a song called Rotary Park featuring Zubin about this incident. Speaking of similarities that the band members share, Rob was majoring in molecular biology, so was Ross. Zubin was just normal biology though. Andrew double majored in English and composition. Joe double majored in film and English. Speaking of Joe Hawley being a film major, he made a short film called The Other Way. It is about time reversing, which we all know he loves time and reversing, so, you know, makes sense. It features a few Tally Hall members, two of which are Bora and Rob. It's kind of funny sometimes because they didn't have the budget to actually get a baby, so they just used a blanket the entire time. It's also fun to watch reversed because all the scenes are reversed, so they just kind of look really goofy forwards. Heck, the film looks goofy when you watch it the intended way because they're always running backwards and stuff like that. But if you reverse the film, here's just a clip of it. It's kind of funny.
I don't have a few weeks. I have until 5:29 p.m. tonight.
Come see me in a couple of weeks. My memory hasn't returned.
Chelsea visited you, didn't she?
Yeah.
Aha!
Also, Rob has a minor in non-professional music. Anyway, they all have kids but one. Andrew, Zubin and Rob are all fathers of two, while Ross is a father of one, and Joe has no kids. If you think that's the reason why Tally Hall haven't got back together, they all have involvement in music apart from one. Andrew is still involved in music, having a solo career. Rob Cantor had a solo career, made Shia LaBeouf Live, and also works with Disney making music for kids. Joey's just been making music. He made a solo career and he performed a gig in 2016. He made a song in 2017, and I don't think we've heard from him since. Ross Fetterman graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Cell and Molecular Biology and later received a PhD, so this is the jambalaya guy, he's got a PhD. He also does DJing under the pseudonym Mr. F. Zubin said he graduated with an undergraduate honours degree in neuroscience. He later received a doctorate in osteopathic medicine. He's now a doctor. Please, Tally Hall, please come back up, please. He also turns up in Shia LaBeouf Live along with Bora. The only other musical-related thing since the end of Tally Hall he's been involved in is Hawaii Part 2, which they all came back for apart from Andrew. Age-wise, Ross, Zubin and Bora are all 39, Andrew and Rob are 40, and Joe Hawley is 41. Yay, now time for full names! Joe's full name is Joseph Robert Hawley, Ross Stephen Fetterman, Andrew David Horowitz, Zubin Seji, and Rob Howard Cantor. These guys seriously do like the cast of Big Bang Theory. It's kind of a joke in the Tally Hall fandom that Ross never sings. He has sung live a few times though, but in studio recordings he doesn't tend to sing. He famously sang Mucka Blucka, and he also is the voice of the auctioneer in The Bidding. He also sings the Wind Knows in Hymn for a Scarecrow, so, you know, maybe eventually he'll have a whole song to himself. Thank you all so much for watching, and tell me if you want a part 2.